As men and women engage in combat situations, some are left with scars that are not only physical but emotional. Soldiers can carry many burdens off the battlefield, leaving them feeling that they could have done something more to help a fellow soldier. According to an article by Stephen Bentley, post-traumatic stress is defined by the American Psychiatric Association as an anxiety or emotional disorder that is formed from an incident or situation that causes a significant amount of stress. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or it is commonly called PTSD, is a relatively new concept but has many names in the past, such as soldier's heart, shell shock, and combat exhaustion. Many professionals believe that post-traumatic stress disorder has been around for as long as war itself. Evidence of this is proven through the many names that research believe is referring to PTSD. Names such as soldier's heart were used to describe soldiers during the Civil War who experienced new warfare such as repeating rifles, Gatling guns, and even artillery rounds. One of the first steps taken by field commanders and doctors in the field as they pleaded with the War Department to screen new recruits who could be susceptible to a psychiatric breakdown. However, during the first couple of years, nothing was done for soldiers except that they were placed on cars with the name of their hometown pinned to their clothes. Others were left out to wander the nearby countryside as and left to die from exposure to the elements. During 1963, the number of soldiers who went insane from battle was so great that the first military hospital was built for soldiers with mental conditions. The Russians were the first to determine that there was a direct link between mental breakdowns and the stress of war, although the United States has still done little to further understand the concept. Vietnam was the first war that caused severe cases of PTSD because of the nature of the conflict. Many men who fought in Vietnam showed symptoms many years after returning to country due to the different dynamics of the conflict. Men who fought in the war faced high casualty rates and brutal attacks by the Vietnamese and Viet Cong, causing many veterans who returned to have flashbacks and nightmares. The high amount of soldiers returning from such an unpopular war called for a push for further research. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, there are many VA centers throughout the country, and every VA clinic has a PTSD specialist who is ready to provide medical assistance to any veteran who feels as if they need it. On top of that, there are over 200 specialized treatment centers that are located throughout the country to help more severe or complex cases of post-traumatic stress. The VA covers any Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, or Coast Guard servicemen or women who have completed active duty. It also covers any National Guard member or reservist who served in a federally deployed combat zone. They currently offer services such as one-on-one mental health assessments and testing, along with medications and group therapy for members who share a common troubled conflict. These clinics also have specialized intensive care for women veterans who may have suffered sexual trauma or other unique needs. It is believed that women are more likely to develop post-traumatic stress. Laura Kasnoff, a freelance journalist who studies PTSD, questions whether or not women are more likely to be traumatized by being deployed in combat roles. In the past 10 years, it has been debated if women should be allowed to serve in these combat roles. In the past, women were only able to serve in non-combat roles such as nurses, intelligence officers, and air traffic controllers. However, Operation Desert Storm required the military to change the rules because of the nature of the conflict put everyone at risk. She touches on many different factors that could increase the chances of women developing PTSD while serving in combat roles, such as sexual trauma from their male counterparts and motherly instincts such as wanting to return to their children back in country.